And we're back.
Framing this as part 2?
Yeah, this is part 2.
I felt so bad that I had to leave early last time. I came late, and then I had to leave early for some reason. But
I'm still not over it emotionally, to be honest.
Well, that's why I came back. And I'm going to pay for the studio today.
Do you remember how much I told you it was? Do you remember what?
Should we read our texts to the fine folks at home? Maybe not. How much did you say it was?
I said
something I had to do sexually.
I said it was like $3,000 million. I made up like a very large number.
Oh, that's too much. It can't be that much.
There's a lot I still want to talk to you about. First of all, how are you?
I'm good, thank you.
With everything that's going on, you had to evacuate?
Yeah. We were we went, Caitlin and Billy, my wife and son, the power went out, so they went down to Disneyland. I was like, I'm staying at the house, and then like about 2 hours without power or blow dry or anything. I was like, fine, I'm getting the fuck out of here. No, it was not that funny.
It is funny.
It was such a weird feeling because there was no, you're just cut off from the world.
Right.
And so there's no internet, there's no power, no whatever. I had some candles, some John Stamos candles that...
Stop.
I swear to God, Darren Chris gave them to me for my birthday, I think. And I was like, I need candles. And I used those.
What does the John Stamos candle look like?
You had one.
You had one of those?
Yeah, one of those, yeah.
Because those are like prayer candles.
Yeah,
I like that, and I say a prayer in the morning.
Yeah, dude.
My dreams have come true. My prayers have come to fruition.
Yeah, I can't
You're here.
Podcast. So that was weird. And then I just went down there, and then everyone evacuated, and it was all.
But your wife, I saw, I want to talk about her because she honestly seems like a living angel.
She is.
She's from Altadena.
Yeah, right, yeah.
So that must have affected her personally in a way that is different than other people who are watching it on the news and not from that area.
Yeah, her parents lived there, and then she moved them out like 2 months ago. And they moved to Oxnard, which, is quite a ways from there, and they were safe. But their whole street burned down.
That's weird.
But the whole thing is so fucking weird.
It's so weird.
She immediately jumped to it, and we were down at Disneyland. She's like, I said, I think the fires are going towards Pasadena. No. And then she saw it. She said, I'm leaving. Went to Altadena, found it, just walked into a church. It was a church that she went to as a kid. And she just started helping. And now she's doing I don't know when this is going to air, but on March 1st, she's got a big seminar called Rebuild. And she's getting all these people to, to speak throughout the day about rebuilding. She wants people to not sell their property.
Yeah.
There, and so, I just marvel at her. And the example that she's setting for us. I mean, I used to be a little more... She really is hands-on, and I am too. But I used to be like her, let me get out there and now I'm
she
like,
seems like a go-getter, man.
You
show up in your glasses. You're like, hey, I'm John Stamos.
No, I don't do that. But it's like I've done a lot,
Yeah.
And, no, I'm just kidding. But we'll keep doing it.
I mean, she had tents set up. There were donation stations.
Yeah, she was
in it.
There's about 8 families living with us now, which is interesting.
Are you serious?
No.
Oh. I don't know. I believe it. I'm like, do you guys have room for a woman and 4 dogs?
Yeah. You have 4 dogs?
I have 3.
That's why you don't have a boyfriend right now.
That is so rude. Am I going to die alone?
Well, no, you're not, but get rid of a couple dogs.
You had a dog.
Great question.
Didn't you? A German Shepherd. Am I wrong?
I have had German Shepherds.
Yeah. I thought that was your breed.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I had 2, and then... one I got for my father because he wouldn't stop talking about getting a dog.
Right.
And so I got this small elderly little dog, trained her for a couple weeks, and then surprised him on Father's Day with her.
Oh, sweet.
The whole family made it real nice.
Yeah.
Brought her to him, and he was like, "Oh, I don't want a dog." And I'm like, so now I'm gonna be the crazy lady because you can't. I couldn't return a dog.
Well, yeah, we got So we had a dog, Caitlin's dog, for the longest time. Hated me.
Was it a boy?
Fucking shitty dog. No, it was a girl.
Oh, she's just jealous.
I don't know what she was, but
jelly.
She's passed away now.
Oh, R.I.P.
So we got another one, and Billy named it Brickus.
That's an interesting name.
Comes up with weird names. And the dog was a lemon. I mean, just a shithead. Like we couldn't be trained. We sent him got kicked out of 2 training schools for dry humping. One or the other, and it got kicked out.
Wow.
And I said, what are we doing with this dog? And Caitlin was like, I think Billy's really attached. I said, Billy, the dog's a little bit of a, we're trying, it's a lemon, and he's like, yeah. And the housekeeper wanted him so bad, so she takes him, and then she tells us about him once in a while.
That's so sweet. So no pets in the house right now?
No, well, she got chickens. We have chickens. chicken. Just in time for all this egg,
can I buy some eggs? Can I get like a baker's dozen? You should have brought us some Stamos eggs.
Yeah, I should have, yeah. So there was 4. There's 3 now. A coyote came in.
How do you keep the coyotes away? You know what you need? Like Arnold Schwarzenegger has.
What?
An emotional support donkey. Donkeys are actually,
really?
Farmers keep them to keep coyotes off the property.
There's a donkey right next door to us.
That's your neighbor, and that's rude.
I know.
That's really
rude. You up. I like on our texting now. It's like, well, I could see you sort of fishing around for joke area.
Well, because I think you like to joke. You have such a great sense of humor, and I think
Thank you. Was I funny on the first part of this thing?
I was gonna say,
No.
I know you were. We watched it. It was so funny. It was the perfect blend of everything.
Okay.
I obviously like to cover all types of subjects, but there was a funny part where I was like, I like to get serious, and you're like, that's all we've been doing this whole time.
Yeah, we were serious last time.
Do you want to talk about my tattoos because you asked me about them, and you keep eyeballing them with judgy eyes?
No. Well, we'll get to them. Wait,
okay.
Let's finish up our thoughts because I know we jumped around a lot last time.
Yeah, we did.
By we, I mean you.
That is so rude.
How rude.
How rude.
Where are you from?
I'm from upstate New York. We went through this. But let me ask you a question.
I didn't listen to the
No, I know.
one.
It's fine. You have a
I
lot.
might ask someone the same question.
Same.
You're a girl, right?
Well, I might end it differently now that I know I can.
What?
I might switch it at the end.
Switch what?
My gender. Why not?
Because.
Maybe when I'm 80.
No.
Get a nice dong. Go to the grocery store in a short moo-moo.
Yeah. 80 years as a woman, it's enough.
Yeah, you can do whatever you want at that point. I did want to ask you about how is our friend Coulier?
He's okay. I went to see him. I don't know if that was before last time or after.
It was the day he was public about being sick.
I flew to see him, and on the airplane ride there, I got a text that my best friend died.
That's right.
Yeah. And so I landed and tried to keep a good face for Dave, which I did. And he was, this was a while ago, and so he was very strong. He's like, I'm going to kick this thing in the ass. And he is. But I think it's, I talked to him yesterday for a long time, and I think the chemo's, it's horrible.
It's rough. The treatment's rough.
Yeah. And so, but he has one more, and I think he's going to be great. I really do. I think he's going to make it. Same with Jeff Ross. Jeff's done with his treatments too. Have you seen him?
Yes, I spoke to him recently.
Yeah, he lost all his hair, which was weird.
I know.
No, what do you mean you know? He's been bald
he
since
went in
6.
looking like he had cancer.
Yeah, right. Did you see the roast we did? You should have been on it.
I did see. I should have been on it. Why wasn't I?
I have a funny story about that.
What? Tell us.
I wonder if I should talk about it here.
Well, I can always cut it out if you feel uncomfortable.
Well, you tell me, but it's a comic story and it's kind of interesting.
Yes, I want to know.
We'll talk. I've thought about talking about it. But anyway, Dave is going to be great.
That's good. You've said that from the beginning.
Well, what do I know?
I think you know. You've known the guy for how long?
Well, he has the right attitude for sure. Like, he's just like, fuck it, I'm going to kick this. But it's, yesterday he was just like, man, this is kick my ass. So you got it, buddy.
But, I feel like with those diseases, that was not a fart. That was my belt. I have to take this off because it's really going to bother me. It's not worth the fart noises.
Folks at home, she's taking her pants off. Is this on video too? But mostly audio?
We'll do video, but there is audio. There's both.
Well, I would hope there's audio.
Yeah.
Subtitles, but we look great.
We do this actually in Braille. This is a Braille podcast.
Okay. I saw the one. Well, I listened to the one with your mom. That's the one.
Yeah, that was a.
Okay, back to your tattoos. So,
okay, yeah. So
I don't
tattoos.
see my name or face anywhere.
I thought about it. Then I thought that would be really creepy.
Too much, yeah.
That'd be a little too much.
What does that say on your big, very nice bicep?
Thank you so much. It feels like a soft brie though. It looks more like something.
What does it say?
Hold your breath, make a wish, count to 3.
Willy Wonka.
That's right. It's my mom's handwriting.
Oh wow! Mm-hmm. I mean, and that's it. Count to 3. Does it keep going?
Oh yeah. Come with me, and you'll be in a world of pure imagination. That's the opening line of it, and then I had my father write the last few lines before he slipped away into dementia.
And where are they at?
They're written down on a piece of paper.
On your body, I mean.
Not yet.
Okay.
I haven't.
What last few lines of the song?
Yes. I don't know. Can you remember that?
I did that show at the Hollywood Bowl.
You did? They did live Wonka?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I played Wonka.
Oh my gosh, how did I miss this?
I shit the bed. It was one of my great shitty performances of all time.
When was this?
couple of years ago.
Oh my
no,
gosh.
maybe like 6 years ago.
Why do you say you shit the bed? I feel like you're hard on yourself.
Well, that song is deceiving. So what they do is they play the movie,
right?
And then different people come out and sing the songs. I did it with Little Mermaid. I played the chef, Les Poissons, which was really fun. And then I did Little Mermaid live. But this was at the Hollywood Bowl, and yeah, I played Willy Wonka, and I trained so hard before because I wanted to do that flip, which seems easy, when he walks out and the cane gets stuck in the thing. Mm-hmm. So I trained with this Russian, guy, but it's not because you want to get as close as you can to the thing before you tuck, and if you don't do it in time, you're going to break your neck.
And we can't have you break your neck.
Can't break any necks.
No.
But and then you're there in front of 18,000 people. And so I walk out, and the cane doesn't get stuck where it's supposed to. I dicked it up or something. And then I start to fall. That part was okay. I mean, I tucked a little earlier than I would have liked, but, still got it. Did
you land the landing? Did you come up and do the whole thing?
Yeah.
Would the crowd, how'd they react? I mean, I would go crazy.
Mm-hmm. That's you. But it was okay. But then I came out and sang the song, and I wasn't nervous, but I couldn't hear myself. And the Hollywood Bowl was so big, and then at the last minute we decided to hand out candy and stuff, and I'd come with me. But I don't think I sang very well, and can't win them all.
You can't. That wouldn't be fun. It wouldn't be challenging. It wouldn't be art.
Right.
If everything was nailed.
I don't like singing. And I've done it because I like. I don't know why I do it. I mean, I don't normally do it. If I sing something live, I just have to work on it so hard for so long.
Do you know how many women around my age have embedded in their brain you singing forever to them, directly to their soul? Mm-hmm. That music video, do you remember that music video? Look at her face. That music video was so hot.
Yeah.
I mean, it was sweet, but it was like, there's like billowing
candles and things,
and there's like a bed frame. Oh,
yeah. Where was I? Yeah, that was.
Where was that? Was that probably was filmed at a house that burned down?
Maybe it was. No, it was on a mountain somewhere, and it looked like Santa, like the Alamo or something. Like I'm at the Alamo in a weird, right. Brass bed with it shirtless and going, hey, baby.
Whose idea was that?
Not mine. I don't remember. It was some video company that came out and did it, and then. I remember being in the studio with the Beach Boys, so that was cool. Carl and everybody, they were all
Was that a Beach
song.
Boys song?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
That song has always touched me. It's about it's one of the most beautiful love stories, that love songs. I'm sorry, that never says I love you. But if we could be together, if every song I say, what do I say?
Other ways of expressing it.
Yeah, and it was a Beach Boys song, a Dennis Wilson song that nobody knew about, and then I did it and. People know.
Do you have any
people know about it.
Beach Boys tour dates coming out?
I'm playing at the Beach Live Festival in May 4th, I think it is. Are you coming?
Yes, I'll be there. Am I
Seriously,
invited?
text me. Yeah, you can
I would love to come. I've never seen them live, and I bet
really?
they're fantastic.
Pretty great.
Yeah.
And Mike Love just got inducted into the Songwriter Hall of Fame, which is great.
I feel like that's a little overdue.
It's a little overdue.
I mean,
well,
that guy's
Brian
a
Wilson
genius.
Was a genius too, and they wrote those songs together. Brian's been in it for a long time. Mike, I always tease him about. He texted me. And I said congratulations. Then I called him yesterday, and then his wife texted me today and said he cried when I called him. He's so sweet. He wrote Good Vibration, the lyrics to Good Vibrations.
That's
and
a classic.
What the fuck does excitations mean? It's not a big
That's a good question.
And so he texted me when I said congratulations. He goes, I guess they finally realized, excitations was a good lyric or something like that.
Is it a real word?
No, he made it up.
That's what music's for.
I'm picking up good
Make up
vibrations.
words.
She's giving me excitation. What's excitations, Mike?
I did figure out what your name meant. I asked you that last time.
John?
No.
Bathroom?
Stamos. Your last name, Stamos, because I told you my last name means big and hairy.
It does?
Peluso's hair and Uso's large. Your last name means... The name Stamos is a boy's name of Greek origin meaning stop.
No.
This is Google, and Google's legit.
That's bullshit. I've been living with this name for a long time. I never heard that. I was driving down the street yesterday. I was working in downtown LA, and there was a couple of people in the car, and it was like there was a sign that said pre-Stamos. Together, pre-Stamos, and that means we loan or something like that.
Was it like a loan officer?
Yeah.
I love LA. The billboards are great.
We Stamos. But it's a Spanish we estamos, they were saying.
There's a famous Greeks, you probably know this. Alex Stamos is an American computer scientist.
Don't know.
David Stamos?
No.
Canadian philosopher.
Rich? No.
I mean, we'll have to find out. Older. John Stamos, American actor, producer, musician, singer.
This is fascinating for you.
Owner of a lemon dog. And then a John J. Stamos, a Greek-American justice of Supreme Court. Can you imagine that guy as your name?
That poor son of a bitch.
I know. He's probably, I didn't even look what he looks like.
But I might need him.
Yeah, we probably should call him.
What do your listeners love most about this podcast?
I think...
Getting to know you or the guests or what?
I don't pre-plan too much. I don't pre-Stamos. Mm-hmm. With you, I do. With guests, I put in work and read the books and ask questions and all that. But I honestly, if I had to say, I think because I talk about things that are relatable, like grief and things like that.
Right.
People who, they listen to this while they're cleaning late shifts, while they're driving their trucks cross country, while they're stay-at-home moms, all different types of people have reached out to me. And
good people, thank you out there.
Heck yeah.
Service people that I look at some of these hardworking people. I go like I could never. Thank God I became and nowadays it would be so difficult to make it. I think as an actor.
Absolutely.
Comic, you can get up on stage, and if you're funny like you are, you're gonna. I mean, you work hard.
You have to work
Not
hard
as hard
to
as
make
some of the
money.
people you just mentioned, but
not nearly as hard as some of those people. But also I also worry about the future. Maybe it's not even founded in any real logic, but I worry about the types of jobs like that we're going to need. Like, I feel like we're going to need a draft for doctors.
Yeah, yeah, that's funny. That's true.
That could probably be a bit. Maybe I could turn that into a bit.
Draft doctor draft.
Yeah.
On stage. Let's work out some comedy.
We should work out some comedy
I watched
together.
something you did recently. It was really funny. But wait, going back to, I try to get my son, I'm turning him on to we watch what's the guy's name? Mark Rober, who's this engineer, and he's watching Matt, anything but an Instagram star, please.
I know.
Anything
the swiping and just nothing is sticking. People want to be famous.
Nothing is
Everyone
sticking.
wants to be
Everybody
famous.
wants to be famous. And let me tell you something. It's great.
I thought you were going to say something different. I mean, when it's you, it's great.
Well, it's, what do you mean?
Well, I think it's not for everybody.
Fame?
I don't think fame is for everybody. Do you consider fame a drug?
Like I'm addicted to it or something?
Not you personally. Maybe more of a general question.
I don't know. But I've said this, but I think we talked about it last time. I love being famous. I mean, I have no problem with taking pictures with people and being recognized. I mean, my whole life, I was bullied. I think we talk about that.
Yeah.
And, it was hard. It wasn't that hard, but I mean, school and kids and whatever. And now people like me everywhere I go for the most part.
I asked my assistant this question on the way over. I asked, I wonder if he drives himself everywhere.
Yeah, sometimes. I mean, most of the time, yeah. Why?
Because there's people I've known in the industry who aren't even in front of the camera, who don't have drivers, and for reasons because they run busy production companies and need to have every moment doing something.
I have a Tesla, which I don't know how much longer I'll have it. But
what was that?
Not that was.
I got not you, but that whole.
Oh, what
thing.
was that? Yeah, I don't know.
Him sending his love. Okay, sure.
But so it drives by itself, and that I can't fault. Have you ever been in a Tesla that drives by itself?
I've heard a couple stories that have scared me from owning a Tesla.
You ought to see me drive without a Tesla.
Is it bad?
Terrible. A terrible driver. And so, but
is it because you're looking at yourself in the mirror?
Yeah, that's right. Saget used to say I'd never met a mirror I didn't like or something like that. That's not true.
I miss Saget, and I didn't even know him the way you did.
Too. We were texting, right? And I thought you were leading me down a small world joke or some kind of.
I was trying to a little bit.
Yeah.
You said Saget had a good small world joke.
He did. He wanted to combine small world and the shooting gallery together. That's terrible. You want to hear something?
Yes.
Okay, I just played it for somebody. I'm going to find it again.
I would love to hear it.
Bob did this song. Now you're going to make me cry.
Please cry. You look so handsome all the time, but you look especially handsome when you're vulnerable.
Really?
Yeah. Your eyes twinkle more.
I'm working on this show called Palm Royale and last night, I pinch myself all the time just because it feels good. But I'm kidding. But I never lose sight of how fucking lucky I am.
You've worked for so long.
I have, but I just don't ever take it for granted. We're talking about fame, right? But I walked on the set last night, and I was working with Kristen wig. I'm on the show Paul Morrell.
Yes,
have you seen it?
It's shot so beautifully.
Beautiful.
Oh my! It's like every scene is an
Tell
art
me about
piece.
it. I was last night. We were shooting in this beautiful theater. So I was working with Kristen, Ricky Martin, who was the sweetest man.
He's so
on the
good in
planet.
that.
He's so well. You watched it. Allison Janney,
who is fantastic.
Okay, so it's the three of us in a scene, and then playing Marjorie Weather Post, Patti LuPone. I'm in a scene with these people. I go like,
do you want to die?
I wanted to die.
Does the band geek in you, Patti LuPone?
Can you believe it? And we were in this big theater, and there was a balcony. I'm like, I gotta get up and do a Vita. No, I better not.
I did. God, tell me you did.
Kristen did something in the scene with like on the thing.
She can sing. She's very musical.
Yeah. I love it. Yeah.
She's so talented.
So talented and so kind.
That's amazing. What's it like when you guys are in between shots? Chummy hanging, or are people?
They're so professional on that show. Maybe more than any other show I've ever been on. And they're extremely. I found this with a lot of really big timers. Extremely kind, very very collaborative in a way, and but they're thinking about their scene. And I want to talk about bullshit.
You're like a rebel.
Yeah, fuck it. We have played the done scene 27 times. Why are you so focused? But they're But then you'll get off the side and we'll talk. But most of the time it's those people. These particular scenes I was doing the last few days, I didn't have very much to do. I have a line here, but they had these long, beautiful monologues. So
the show is just so well done.
So funny.
It makes you want to live in those scenes, and it's so peculiar.
Yeah, right. I know.
It's a strange story.
I play this guy who's got a doctorate in law, and he's a part-time gynecologist.
That sounds like what you would do if you weren't acting.
Yeah, you're right. Forget
full-time gynecologist.
Fuck fame. Yeah, I was right to the vagina. I did a scene the other day where there was these legs, and it takes place in the late '60s, and there's these legs, and the phone rings, my head comes up, and I'm talking on the phone, and I'll be right with you.
Smoking a cigarette.
Yeah, no, that would have been good. So anyway, that I never take it for granted. But how did we get on?
I think we were just talking about
downtown
fame.
LA.
Talking about fame, and if that was sort of got us into this whole.
Was it?
Yeah. But speaking of fame...
Wait a minute. I wanted to play something.
Oh, that's right. You did want to play something. Something you played earlier.
Right.
444? It's an angel number.
What's that?
I don't know. Girls love angel numbers. It means something, I'm sure.
Lighting is beautiful.
Everything means something. This lighting is really nice. I can't imagine you in bad lighting, though.
What do you mean?
There's no lighting that could make you look bad.
Yeah, there is.
What, the dark? Because you can't be seen?
Stop it.
I'm a good flirter.
You what?
I'm a good flirter.
Mm-hmm. That's a good one, yeah. Hold on. So this was a song that Bob did.
That's right. We were talking about Bob Saget.
And he, no one heard this song. And I think this video, Kelly, his wife, gave it to me. This is called Father-in-Law. And nobody's heard this. I think we did it somewhere. Anyway, he passed away not long after this. And first of all, it's the funniest song. And then listen to his voice and his melody and stuff, but it's called Father-in-Law, I think, but.
Never made a real commitment until I met my wife. She was different than the others. She didn't lie of where she'd been. And she had her mother's sparkle and her dad's strong and noble chin. Attracted to her dad. He's older than me, and then there's the fact I love his daughter. Her mom is hot too. What would I do if this upset my wife? What if she was in the audience?
He can sing.
Maybe she'd understand, because her dad's the kindest man I've ever known. And he's got great hair and beautiful soft hands. So what if he's the man who's the father of my wife? I'm bound to be with her for life. Here's the chorus. But I'm not in love. I'm not in love. I'm not in love with my wife's father. But his abs are so damn cut. He's got a real tight butt. And I would be a nut to let her go. I'm not in love. Not in love with my wife's father. It's so hot she looks just like him.
Oh,
Me and Dave were talking about Bob yesterday.
fucking Dave and Bob Saget.
That's so funny. I love comics. I think we talked about that before,
Yeah,
right? And
you've been surrounded by them, and like we talked about, just the legends that you've been surrounded by.
yeah.
But I mean, you know,
I don't take it for granted.
there's
Because in a blink of an eye, they're gone, you know?
and you don't even you had no idea.
Well, Bob, yeah.
The last time you saw him, you guys were out to dinner. That you, Caitlin, and him and Kelly.
Yeah.
And then he was gone.
He was gone. And it was one of those nights, too, where Bob was just everything I ever wanted him to be. You know, he you know, sometimes he could talk about himself, for hours, which was fine. Most of the time.
Male comic.
But exactly, yeah. But he was asking questions, and he was listening, and he was calm, and he used to drive me crazy with taking fucking pictures. But it was like he'd take 80 pictures, and he'd have to get it so high because of his chins or something. Like get a drone. I said, just take the fucking picture. But that night he didn't do that. He took 1 or 2 pictures, and I posted the picture, and he was just. It was
Like a once in a lifetime love.
Yeah.
And do you remember the day you met him? Do you remember the
hated
first?
him. Yeah, we hated each other.
Why do you think you guys hated each other? Because you touch on that a little bit in the book, but I'm curious, like, what was that set like initially when you guys walked on set? You met each other
Not
for
like
the first
the set
time.
I was on last night.
Professional, right? Well, we
guys,
also have to paint the time frame. This was when? What year was this?
In the 80s, right?
For Full House?
Yeah. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, the first time you walked on set. Because it's a different time.
Well, it was. I think we did a test with him. Dave and I we shot the pilot with another actor. This guy, John Posey, who, and poor guy, he's, kicking himself, maybe.
He turned it down?
No, we shot the pilot. So Jeff Franklin always wanted Bob as the father, but he wasn't available. And so we shot the pilot with this guy, John Posey, who was fine, And then Bob got fired from some show in New York. He was on the CBS show. And so then we reshot it with Bob, the pilot. He was addicted to laughs, as you guys are. You're not. You're calmer than these guys, a lot of these guys, right?
I think it's different for the genders.
You think? Why?
I don't know. I think there's just a different thing. I'm different in that way. Yes.
Yeah, you are. I don't think.
I drive Deb nuts. I try and get laughs from her all the time. She makes me laugh too.
But you know how like these comics, they
don't. We say they're never off. They're always on.
Right. Bob was in the beginning was pretty much always on, but he wasn't really he wasn't an actor. Dave or Bob, they didn't come to the table with acting chops. And I wasn't as funny as I became by being around them. I loved comedy always. The show I did right before I was with Jack Klugman, who was this great comedic actor. It was an Odd Couple, and he was one of the, you're looking at me like, who?
No, I know who you're talking about.
But the audience, people.
My dad loved all of that stuff.
Yeah.
I was lucky to be exposed to everything.
He was like my first mentor, and he, it was all about, constructing a scene and character and where the comedy comes from, and that was not Bob or Dave, And Jack would make me sit in the writer's room and watch these guys write the show. And he said, sit in the corner, don't say anything, If I'd pipe up, they'd throw paper and stuff at me. But like comedy titans, Gary Marshall, that's where I met Gary Marshall. And so I came in like that. I would say, well, this scene, why would this, And they would just, fuck around. And so, and Bob wasn't really scoring as much in the show. And Dave and I kind of found a partnership there. And so he just had to make everybody laugh on the set. I said, put that into the show, And also, you're a father. Like we're the two of us aren't fathers in real life, And so we have to bring some of that stuff, And so he was sort of jealous. At his funeral, his first wife Sherry, who he has the 3 kids with, came up. I was hugging me and said, "Oh, Bob loved you so much. He also hated you." He was so jealous. He was like, and I was jealous of him because he had what I wanted, which was a family, and so. But once we got through all that, and a couple of years in, his sister was dying of scleroderma, and Dave's sister had a terrible cancer, and my sister had a brain tumor.
All at the same time.
The same time. And so the three of us became brothers who were losing their sisters. Thank God, I don't know, my sister made it. It turned out she just had MS, and she's been great ever since. But they lost their sisters, and so that was kind of like, okay, let's knock the bullshit off. Let's be there for each other. And from then on, we were.
And did you guys know right away with Full House? How long did you know you had a hit?
It wasn't a hit in the beginning.
It took a minute, right?
It took a minute, and it was the first season was kind of taking a shit, and we had fun, but it was, it wasn't doing well in the ratings. And Jeff Franklin told me that he had this meeting with the brass at ABC, and they were going to cancel it. And he took a scene that we hadn't aired yet of me and Michelle doing something, and said, "This is the show. This is what we're trying to get to." And the guy said, "That's it. I want it." And
do you remember the scene?
I think it was.
Because I know almost every scene from that show. I'm like, what scene is it? The diaper scene with you and Joey?
No. It was later. It was. I think we were giving her cough medicine or something. I was trying to get her to take cough medicine.
Yeah.
And then Joey stuck it in my mouth.
Yes, in your mouth. Yes.
And so that's how. And so they let it run the season, and it still wasn't doing great. And we didn't know if we were going to come back. Now here's the story. So the first time I fell in love was with this girl, and I was so in love with her. It was the first time I said I love you to someone. I was going to marry her. She was the girl of my dreams. And I walked in on her with Tony Danza.
There's the stories in the book. Tony Danza. Actually, that story, the way you wrap that up with the joke you use is so funny, so don't give it away.
Well,
it's worth reading it.
Okay, but that's the thing. So what happened was they said, well, we're gonna try one last thing. We're gonna put you on in the summer, and we'll see how you do in the summer. If you don't get any numbers, you guys are gone. And we're gonna put you behind one of our hit shows and blah blah blah. And it was Who's the Boss. And so he fucked me, but he also gave me
wild.
The shows.
Have you seen him? Have you run into him?
No. I don't think he was too happy with the story, and she wasn't either. But no, fuck. I mean, you're writing a book. What am I going to do? Lie? I mean, it was a.
We want it. We want all the
traumatic
stories.
Moment in my life,
Yeah,
so,
it sounds like you were very in love with her.
I was, yeah, but she said I saw on some long YouTube thing. She said, "No, that was not true. We broke up." And
everyone remembers the things that they remember.
I came to his house, and then I realized, oh yeah, she did come to my house. Came to my house, broke up, went to the grocery store. Saw Tony Danza in the cover, and then called him back because they dated before. So yeah,
it's pretty quick.
Like 3 hours before she called Tony Danza.
It's not good time framing whatsoever.
Yeah, exactly.
From you to Tony Danza, this girl must be kicking herself. Is she crazy? Nothing against Tony Danza, but
no, he was cool, and it was he could beat me up at the time too. He was a boxer. I had so many people. But I was I was. Even as I talk about my first marriage in there, which I didn't want to, and the publisher was like, "You got to talk about it." I'm like, "No, I don't." But then I kind of found a way to talk about it, which was, I was just as much to blame. I mean, I could see why someone maybe outgrew me or outgrew where I was at that point in my life.
Yeah,
right.
I remember reading that whole part, and I always wondered about that. Not always, but being a kid of the 80s and 90s where celebrity news was something, it was a part of our diet.
Yeah. And it's not now.
No, it's not.
It's to some people.
For some people it is. But I was always curious about that. But you are very honest about you and Rebecca in your relationship prior.
And I heard they were mad, but I don't think
you heard she was mad about what you wrote?
Well, I'm not mad, but I mean, I think I saw that he was upset or something, the husband, and
her husband, I mean, calm down. He's doing weird commercials. Everyone's fine.
I'm doing that same commercial.
Stop, are you?
So, I didn't know it until. So, look, you got to make money. I don't know what commercial
I don't hate the player.
So, but I think they just saw the headlines because people pull it out of context saying like she was the devil. But what I said was, look, I went through a lot of. I sobered up, and during sobriety, you do the steps, and the fourth step is like you write down all your resentments. And I was like, she did this, and she did that, blah, blah, blah. And the guy said, sponsor said, "Are you done?" I said, "No, give me another piece of paper." And then she did this, and then he said, "Well, what did you have to do with any of that?" I said, "What do you mean? What did I have to do? Just even 1% of it. What part did you play in there?" I started writing. I should have done it. I wasn't great at this. You know.
What did you find? What was like a...
my wife asked me the same question.
Did you not answer her?
No, I didn't.
Smart man. Let's talk about your wife.
I just wasn't, I wasn't focused, and I was, drinking a bit, and I was just kind of fuzzy, and but I was immature. It took me a long time to find the mature me. And I still try to hold on to,
Well, you talked about like the Peter Pan thing.
Yeah.
I think a lot of, at least from what I've experienced with my male friends, there's a lot of that for most of them.
Well, who wants to grow? I mean, growing up is like there's responsibilities and things, but with that comes like what I always wanted, a family.
Yes.
And so it's I can still have that childlike thing. And I'm living through my son, his sense of wonder.
Oh, isn't that great?
Oh my God.
Childlike awe. That's where the magic is.
It's magical. And I tried never to, and we just went to Europe together. It was just the three of us. And like, he just loves being with us still. And hopefully he always will be. But he'll see a bug and we'll go talk about a bug for 20 minutes,
Yeah.
I want to go on that merry-go-round, like wobble, So he was just on this fast merry-go-round. He's laughing. And, that kind of sense of wonder is something that I just... you lose and then you gain it back, try to gain it back by watching, because everything's new and fresh and beautiful.
It's so fun, but everything, there is a practice to trying to find those new moments, but as an adult it's much more tedious to maintain that mentality.
Totally,
because we have to pay bills and be responsible and go places and
there's like
take care of kids and 3 dogs.
Yes, and also it's hard for me to, it's just hard to be serious too. That's like part of being. I don't really like
you
it.
You had a good run on the first part of this podcast. Yeah.
What were we talking about?
We talked about death and grief, and you handled it. You fought a little bit. You fought it a little bit.
Did I talk about? I remember I was trying to figure out the note that my mom left me.
It was the devil. That, right? Don't let the devil.
That was one of them.
In the car because he'll end up driving.
That's one. But she. A few days, and you talked about stuff that you got.
My dad wrote notes on envelopes telling me never to ask for money again, but I always got the money. I mean, it was like $50.
You should get that tattooed somewhere.
That's a really good idea, actually.
Bob, or was it Bob or Dave that used to say, I'm getting a tattoo right here that says, if you can read this, you're blowing me.
I have a funny story for you.
But wait.
Okay.
Just to say, 3 days after my mom died, I was years I was, but it was like that moment where it's like, she is gone. And I was rummaging through the house, and I found one of her notes, and it said, don't be sad because I died, be happy because I lived. I had a wonderful life.
It's those. You did mention that before about how important it is for parents to write notes to their kids, because so much of what we do now is a digital world, and those notes are tangible. Yeah. They're a tangible memory. I went through my mom's stuff when she was alive, because I like to steal from her. No, when she died, I went through her stuff, and I found a bunch of notes that she must have just written to herself. But there was actually one time Deb was helping me.
She wrote them to herself, like
It seemed
to remember to do stuff. Or
I think more like to maintain a sense of self. There were a lot of like quotes about boundaries and relationship style stuff. I think she always kind of struggled with that.
Interesting.
But
do you think the boundary stuff was about you? It's like, if I leave this near her door, maybe she won't. Really?
Oh yeah.
Why?
No.
What?
I just was I was the youngest.
Yeah.
My dad had 2 girls before me, and I was the youngest with my sister, and so I was always like, Mom, look at this, Mom, look at this. I used to do it to drive her nuts as an adult.
Yeah.
I just loved driving her nuts.
She probably loved it too, right?
Loved it. Come on.
Yeah. Come on.
The Syracuse accent. I had moved into the little bungalow I'm in now, and Deb was helping me, and I was going through a grieving squall. Is that like a squall? Is that like a wave? Right, that's a word, isn't it? You want me to Google it? No. I was going through a wave of grief, and a squall, and I was just like, I miss her. I want to talk to her, and I was moving these frames, and something fell out from one of the frames I had, and she had stuck a note.
Really?
In a frame from years prior.
What did it say?
It said, "Take care of yourself. Stay home as much as you can. Get home as soon as you can. And I love you, Mom. Love you to the moon and back." It was during quarantine, because she had sent me these framed things of my niece and nephew. So those notes are important. That's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah.
They're so they're a connection to the past, really. Oh, speaking of notes, by the way, we've talked about the book. Go get the book. It's out on paperback as well. It's available. Audio? Did you do audio?
Oh yeah. That was my favorite part.
Ladies, listen to that at night.
Yeah, baby.
But coming up soon.
Urkel.
I'm sure you know this fella.
Yeah, I know.
And he inscribed. I would like to read it to you. That's a cute little, remember that face?
Yeah, sure.
Jessimae, I'm not John Stamos, but I'm damn close.
That's true.
That's true. Let it out. We can cut it out.
These fires, man. I think I got some, charcoal in my...
I think we all do.
Right.
Yeah, my eyes have been watery.
Too, I've always thought about fire being like good and bad, right? Clearly, I mean, it can do. And then I was thinking about social media in the same way. Like social media can, like fire, can warm you and nourish you and whatever, but it can also burn you the fuck down.
Yes.
And like a good kind thought, can light up the world, and a hateful thought could spread like fire.
It's wild.
You kids out there, be fucking careful with this social media. It's. I'm not saying to be, we can't censor it, but be respectful of it.
Yeah, it's definitely something to treat with respect. It's a lot like, it's exactly like fire.
I'm this close to canning all of it because
I say that all the time.
Aren't you? Well, I think I guess I don't know. It's good for you because of stand up and and you promote this stuff, and I guess I need it for some stuff.
You too.
But
You're
I don't
funny on it though. Like I don't know
funny.
who you have, if you've employed somebody, but your social media is very funny. It's very clever.
That funny.
Yes, it is.
Well,
take a compliment.
I feel like it's like I do have some guy that I've been working with for a little while, because when you do a book or when you do a commercial or when you do a thing, it's always in the thing like you have to post on this day, you have to do this many things. But I'm like it gives me agita. It's like, right?
It's always my. I'm like, oh.
I know, and you'd shoot something, and I was like, right, what do I say? So, and he'll say like, okay, I can come over, we can shoot some stuff. I'm like, great, come over, and we'll lip sync to some fucking stupid ass jackass, that said something stupid. Great, that's really what I want. Is George Clooney doing this too today? I'm not that I'm him, but I'm not gonna be if I keep, doing drag queen audio and.
I was thinking of that video. That's the exact video I was thinking of, the drag queen one. Did you see that one? That's even Deb saw it.
The drag queen, she was great. She was. I was gonna invite you and I didn't because there was so many people and it wasn't. I should have. I went to a Christmas party.
Next Christmas.
I was texting you. Well, yeah, I'm gonna have this. It's gotta be smaller. But the drag queen did a couple songs and then
that's fun.
Then they were like, "Can we do a video?" I'm like, "Okay." And I'm like, "Oh, drag queen video, okay." And that was that.
Next time you have a party.
Jaleel was great.
So
I'm excited. Did this book? Did it come out already?
I think it's come out. I'm pretty sure it has. Yeah.
I think it has. Is there?
I think it has. Deb, can you check on see if his book is available on?
Well, I'm gonna.
When
did he come on yet?
He's not yet. Nope.
Okay.
He's just one of the best. We'll hang out a couple times.
Oh, you guys are friends?
Yeah.
Oh, great. We were at some film festival 6 months ago, and it was snowing, and we couldn't get home, and we were all stuck there, and I was down in this garage, and I'm not good at handy, like tires and like.
We know.
Yeah, and I tried to. I'm fascinated how anything gets done in this world, but I was trying to put on those things on the tires so you could drive in
lug
snow.
Nuts? No, snow tires.
No, chains. Thank you.
Chains.
And I'm doing it. It's falling off, and I put it on, and I drive a little bit. It comes out, it goes, shoots off, and I'm reading instructions. And there's nobody in this garage. It's down, 7 things down, and it's dark, and I'm doing it. I'm like, fuck it. I think I cut my hand on the fucking thing, and all of a sudden I heard this voice like, we're not meant to be doing stuff like that. I looked over, and it was Urkel. I'm like,
sounds just like Jaleel.
Yeah, it's like we don't do these kind of things. I said, you're right. I don't. Now get over here and help me. He is funny.
I love him.
It's funny to go back and look at, some of those episodes. My son watches it in the car sometimes on the way to school.
Full House?
Yes.
He must know it's Daddy. of course.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean,
I
how
don't
old
look
is he
that
now?
different.
No, you don't.
Yeah,
I just don't know how old he, like, where the
6.
recognition. Oh, yeah, of course he recognizes you.
But we'll usually he'll watch it on our way to school, and
is that like a forced curriculum that you put?
You're gonna hitchhike to school. Or you're gonna watch Full House.
You're gonna watch Daddy all the way to school.
Yeah, but when we're pulling in, now he always asks for it, and when we're pulling in, it's like we're getting close to the driveway. He's watching, and then I pull into the driveway. He goes, "Dad, turn it off! Turn it off!" And he starts screaming at me. Oh, you don't want anyone to see, huh?
He's embarrassed that he's watching
I think he watches it to mock me too, because he, it'd be like, Billy, put that, Legos away. You got it, dude.
He does not. Does he really? Oh my gosh, he sounds smart.
It's pretty funny.
He sounds very intelligent.
But I finally, for the longest time, I didn't get that show. I mean, I didn't get why I thought we did it, and okay, it was fun. I got it then, and we never got any respect. The reviews were like,
you didn't get the respect you
deserved. This show is not going to last till Thanksgiving, and really, it lasted a little longer, buddy.
I mean, how many?
It went 8 seasons, but it just should have gone away, and then it just keeps coming back. Like every 4 years there's a new Full House fan born. And
That's
I think
so wild.
You're right. You never. I don't know another show like that really, and I think it's because it's. Well, first of all, the show, there was no main characters on it. I say this. The main character was love.
Yes.
And it was, and now, but listening to it, like as I'm driving, I go, oh my God, that's so. I mean, some of the jokes are stale and a little corny here and there. But it's so beautiful.
It really is.
It's so loving. And I get why parents let their kids watch it, because they're just good values. And the kids aren't assholes.
Right.
Like a lot of these Disney shows. And it's not a bunch of poop humor.
With sass and
there's
like.
No sass.
And they're like sexualized.
Yeah.
It's very strange.
Very strange. We did have that, what do you call it? The anorexia episode.
You guys had a couple episodes.
We tried.
Saved by the Bell did it with the pills.
Did they? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That episode was very funny, because if you go back and watch it, there was some line that Bob had to say that was so, ridiculous, and we couldn't stop laughing.
What was the
I
line?
think you can see it in there. It's like, Deej, you just eat or something, And you'll have to go back, but
now I need to go back and watch that episode.
And I think they just left it in. I think it was that episode. We just couldn't stop laughing.
Did you love working on that show? Like, do you remember being there and loving it, or was it? I'm sure there were times it was tedious because, it all looks glamorous, but there's times where it's difficult. But did you feel the same way as you do walking onto the set of Palm Royale?
I wanted to be. On Seinfeld or something. I mean, Seinfeld came a little later, but the show, after a while, it was just kind of like I'd write, in the Romper Room or something. Like
right.
I sort of I thought that I would be on a more, more respected show and more serious show. But I also realized how the moment, and I used to say to them, I said, "These are the good old days."
Heck yeah.
These are the good old days, and we had fun. We loved each other. We loved going to work. We loved, we hung out after work. We hung out on the weekends.
You became an actual family, which is the crazy part.
Yeah, but even closer, because we there was no, it was always smooth sailing and stuff. But I always wanted to be more, respected or whatever. And so, no, I feel different going on the set last night than there. But
Patti LuPone.
Yeah, Patti LuPone.
It's wild. Have you had any one-on-one time with Patti LuPone?
Yeah, I talked to her last night for a little while. We talked about things, and me and Janny talked the other day in between, scenes.
Does Patti know about your cabaret days?
Willkommen. No, I don't think she did.
I feel like she would love that.
She probably would.
That's right up her alley.
Yeah.
I'm sure. Hasn't she done cabaret? I feel like she's probably.
I don't know. She's done a lot.
I do have
the show, the thing.
The show, the thing. Yeah.
Jaleel.
I have a confession.
Social media. Wait, can we go back to that real fast?
Yes.
And I don't care about comments, and usually they're 98% sweet,
Like on social media.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. We were talking about social media.
But, these like I posted the other day, Josh Gad, my friend, has a book coming out, right? It's
Love him.
He's the best.
So funny.
Kind. He's just so smart. And he does this book, and it's called In Gad We Trust, and he's kind of like, in a spiritual thing. this blasphemous. God is the only person you should trust. I mean, like it was 98% negative shit. I'm like, come on, man. I just don't.
Have they read the Bible? There's some creepy stuff in there.
Yeah, Leviticus.
I mean, did we read the Bible? Has anyone been to a Catholic church? We read the news?
Just
it's
because
just ridiculous.
Yeah, it's just
someone
so
can't
much.
do something. And I bet, I have a theory about people like that who are self-righteous. I guarantee
Yeah, they're beating their kids.
Exactly. There's some shady search engine history.
Shady Vance. Cut that out. We won't get into politics on this show, but
little drops. Little drops.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
It's insane.
It's
people, but it's also indicative of someone who doesn't have a lot going on, and they feel purpose by setting off arguments on the internet.
I'm the most. I was brought up Catholic. I don't go to Catholic church anymore because but if you follow me and you don't see that I'm a kind, spiritual person, then fuck off and don't follow me.
Yes. You don't need to openly.
This is blasphemous. This is, how dare you? There's only God. Why God?
You're literally helping your friend. You're promoting something your friend did.
Take the time and go do something for somebody. Like the very next thing is me and my wife down in Pasadena handing out diapers to people that lost their homes. It's like anyway. I don't know.
They're just on their couch at home.
I guess
that's what it is. They're doing nothing in their life. It's
I
sad.
saw you on social media recently, and I'm trying to think of the joke. It was so funny. I think it was by the way, like these fucking hecklers too. I mean, it's the same thing.
Oh my gosh.
It's getting out of control, and I feel like they're just heckling to get on social media and to have you comics beat the shit out of them.
And then they make a clip.
And then they make a clip, and you guys make clips, but it's like almost all you.
They've been doing it for years, even before clips.
Right.
And it's 98% of the time for me, women that have interrupted me.
And I think whoever it was, do you remember which one? I think you posted it recently.
Yeah,
it was
Heckler
it was really
clip.
Good. Yeah.
I don't remember. I don't even know if I got into the joke because she cut me off. I think I was talking about my dead dad, and she was like, "That's not funny." And I was like, "Yeah, he's dead. That's the kind of it's kind of like why I'm here."
All right.
And then she just kept going. Right, that lady just kept coming and coming the whole show. She just kept coming at me.
Do they want to get kicked out on video? Do they?
No, I feel like people like that want to carry out these fights over and over and over. I guarantee she has fights in her life in different areas. I guarantee she's one of these women who go through drive-thrus and fight.
There's angry people.
They find ways to have
How
these
often does it
superficial
happen?
things. I would say
because if you watch social media, it's like every show you do, someone's
every
heckling
weekend. There's at least one heckler who significantly disrupts the show.
And every weekend.
Every weekend, there's at least one.
And are they most of the time drunk? I mean,
yes.
But I think but they're doing it to get on video. Like
they want to be spoken to. They want attention.
But they're not. That's not what you go. You're not. You go get attention somewhere else. This is your time.
I always say open mic night is on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Come on in.
What's the worst heckle you got? Anybody ever try to come on stage and beat you up?
I did post a woman
with a guitar
came up on stage, no guitar. I would have started a band with her. I'm like, hey girl, what's up?
Let's go.
I got some finger cymbals. Let's do this. No, this woman, Letizia, I think her name was, at the Ice House.
Oh, Letitia, something
like that. Yes, I think you might be right. She came right up on stage and hugged me.
Well, that's okay.
I was a little scared.
Did she grab your butt or anything weird?
No, nothing fun like that.
But what she grabbed, what was wrong with that?
She was kind of going back. We were going back and forth all night long.
Oh.
And then
said,
I was like, this woman, was kind of like talking about her, because at that point, if you don't kick them out and they don't stop, they become a part of the show. So they get woven into the evening.
I guess that's what they want.
I think so. They want to be a part.
How often do they get kicked out?
I don't kick anyone out ever. No. Unless there's been like one time where someone was passed out on the floor and that person needed to go home.
Well,
but unless there's like a violent situation, I'm not welcoming this to the world. If I can't handle that and get my crowd back, then I feel, for me, this is just my own personal opinion, I don't deserve to be on stage. I'm not saying that I deserved that treatment, but I feel like it provides me an opportunity to exercise an uncomfortable skill and get better at incorporating it and getting
most
back.
Most comics are pretty damn good at it, right? And you know, you guys have the mic, and you can get these people, but like sometimes you only have 15 minutes, right?
Yeah.
And so they've taken them 5 minutes of jackasses jerking around.
Yes.
And you got to get back on track and get back into your jokes and
Stay home. Watch Fuller House.
No.
And then go backwards.
Adam Ray, is that his name?
Yeah, I've known Adam for years. Did
He's
you?
so fucking talented. Yeah, on the Jeff.
Oh, that's right. He was Biden.
He was Biden. It was a lesbian on the drums.
I died.
That guy's fast.
I died.
He asked me to be in his Dr. Phil thing or something. I think I'll do that because he's so fun. I really, and then I did, dive on him, and he's got people. Those guys, they were good. There was a moment. The two guys, the tall guys, Sam Morrell.
Yes, Sam Morrell and Mark Norman. I've known them for years.
Both those guys extremely funny, and I told him before. I think it was this is probably gonna get some whatever, but
what?
So I had a section in there. He was pissed off. This Sam. I think
Sam Morrell was?
Yeah.
Is this the part you may want to cut out? Is that what you're saying?
I don't care.
Okay.
You play. I'm not going to say anything. I mean, there's not. So, luckily it wasn't live. But so there was a section where I was doing this thing with Jeff, and it was they wrote these jokes about what's his name was on the cover as the sexiest man alive.
Should have been you
from The Office.
John Krasinski.
John Krasinski, yeah. And so they wrote all these terrible jokes, and I go, I'm not doing that. That doesn't, come on, guys. And so I rewrote some of it. I had some really good jokes too. I mean, like Jeff said, I said, he's cute, like a cute little animal, and I'm sexy like a horse, And he said, you like horses? I said, come on, Jeff, you've fucked a horse before, And I'll tell you something. Nay means nay, Jeff. Huge laugh.
It's
good
great.
joke, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think they cut that. But
I love a barn rape joke. I'm here for that.
Yeah. Right. Bestialities.
2025 bestiality.
Yeah, right.
It's a lover and a pet.
Yeah, and it's tall. It's hard.
Yeah.
So
can ride your boyfriend, then ride him home. We can go all night.
Go ahead.
That was the last one.
Oh, that was a good one. Rode hard and put away wet.
That's
you
a good
ever heard
one.
that term?
Yes.
You know what it means? Everybody answers yes.
Rode hard.
Thomas, do you know that one?
I don't know what it means. I've heard of it. Rode hard and put away wet. Mm-hmm. Is it a jet ski?
Yes. No. Not fucking jet ski.
What is it?
Well, it's when I think it's, rode hard and put away wet is like when you ride a horse really hard, it sweats and you put it in another thing. And it's, but it's something to do with sex too. It's like rode hard.
Oh God, horse sweat. That's a different type of
sweat.
Yeah,
but not sex with anyway.
Okay.
So it was kind of
so Sam Morrell got a little.
I had these jokes and they were fine and I kind of wanted it to be open a little bit. It wasn't like a roast like the Comedy Central ones where the host, I hosted the Saget one, and I take a crack at everybody, and then everybody that came up took a crack at me, and that makes sense.
Right.
This wasn't that situation, right? It was everybody coming up doing their thing. And so a couple people kind of, when I was up doing my stuff, kind of chimed in with a few jokes, and they were good. There was a weaving, right, and it flowed, and one of them's, one of them said, it looks like a Make-A-Wish thing, but Jeff and I, together, and someone said before and after, or Ozempic or something, and then out of the blue, and I realized why I got pissed off, because everybody thought because the actual Sam Morrell pops up with some joke, and I think he thought, and Jeff too thought, because I talked to Jeff the next day, and said, well, it seemed like, it got your,
It ticked you a little.
Right, it didn't. What ticked me in hindsight was I was having a really nice moment with Jeff. And it was this emotional thing. And he mentioned that he had cancer, but I said, I'm so proud of you and I love you. And I was kissing him. And I think it was in that section. And he says, Stamos, the only thing good you've been in is Rebecca Romaine. And I'm like, first of all, we did that joke 15 years ago, or whatever it was, on that deal.
Have you seen General Hospital?
Yeah. What?
General Hospital, the TV show.
No, I know. What does that got to do with it?
Weren't you on it like years ago?
Yeah, but what? I don't get it.
I'm just saying, you've been in that as well.
You're right.
I was like, I hope that was the right fucking show.
I've been in a lot of good things.
You've been in so many things.
But the point is, and I've been in those bad things too. But that joke was Hack City, and I said, we did that joke 15 years ago. Come on, man.
Yeah.
And on Saget's roast, and he said something about like, why are you talking about dead people? Like he's going at me. And I'm not going to sit there like, if he thinks I'm some, fucking, soap opera, whatever he thinks.
Right.
I'm not going to take it. And he said something about, well, why are you talking about dead people? And I said, the only thing dead is your career after this or something. He got pissed, I think.
He got mad?
I think so. He was a little miffed. But.
Come on.
It was it just was. It didn't like, and I could give a shit.
It didn't flow with what was going on.
No,
right?
And
it was not good.
Old hacky joke.
Yeah,
and it didn't make sense, and it was in the wrong place. And I thought he was very funny. I thought he was pissed off though. He was mad that the audience wasn't that good, and before he was like, "Oh, this LA sucks," and
That's an interesting thing.
But it was a tough room. It was not like. It was a small room, and it was
studio room,
mostly friends and family.
That's so hard.
It was hard. I got
industry, it. I'm assuming there was industry, like agents and managers and stuff.
And it wasn't.
They're on their phones checking emails for other clients.
Yeah, I don't know phones, but they weren't laughing like they should have. And he was really funny. And the other guy with him, what was
Mark
his name?
Norman.
Mark Norman. They were great.
Yeah,
and they did a long set.
New York staples.
New York guys, and they were super funny. But this was just out of the blue. So anyway, you can leave the story. I don't know.
Yeah, it's not that bad.
It's well, yeah. And so I talked to Jeff the next day, and he said, "Oh, he was really upset that you called him a hack." I didn't call him a hack, but that I said he stole a joke from something. Well, and I guess one of the writers that went up and whispered that joke to him, and as he said, well, one of the writers told it to me, and I get that. That sounds like one of the writers that maybe wrote on the old roast or something.
Yeah, from maybe 15 years ago.
Yeah, I think it was even longer, right? Whenever that was.
That's a long time.
But it wasn't the joke. I didn't care. Caitlin was sitting there, and she didn't give a shit. And even after I talked to her about it, she goes, "What? No, I don't care." It was in hindsight because I couldn't
figure out why.
Then. Yeah. It was that it was in a nice moment.
Right. It was poorly. The timing wasn't. It didn't flow with what was going on.
Didn't flow, and it was.
And it wasn't funny.
Aggie joke. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
But I still respect him, and I think he's a very funny guy.
Yeah. Sometimes comedians are just so sensitive.
Yeah. Right.
The most sensitive.
Yeah.
We've talked about that before.
We have.
Yeah, about the male comic.
You and I
thing.
Yeah, but you'd think they'd have a little thicker skin because they like dishing it out,
Sure. And this is not like a gender war. It's something I've noticed. I'm in the industry. Mm-hmm. I'm sensitive in different ways. I'm not saying I don't have sensitivities, but I think by nature women sort of have to grow thicker skin, even thicker skin.
Who's your favorite female comic?
Joan Rivers.
You? Oh, yeah.
She's dead.
Funny. She's dead.
She's dead AF. I met her passing down a hallway when I was doing a show at E, and she was filming a segment for what was a Red Carpet Live.
Right.
And it was like for me a legend. I was just, I want to talk to her. I don't know what to say. What am I going to say? And my gay friend Justin Martindale was like, I'm going to go talk to her, and went to talk to her and said hello. I'm like, I can't. I just don't know what I would say. But I always loved her. I saw her live once and thought she was great. A ball of fire. Up into the end.
She loved it, you could tell, and she worked hard on her act, right? And yeah.
Melissa Rivers, she lost her family home in the fire.
Oh, really?
All of her mom's stuff.
Aren't they doing a movie about her or something?
They should. They do documentaries about everything. Yeah, Joan Rivers needs one. A piece of work is great. Did you ever see that? Her documentary? Yeah.
Did you and who contemporary? Whitney loves her too, right?
Yep, Whitney loves. I love Whitney.
Are female comics do they have each other's backs? And
yeah, there's I have a group of girls that I love and support and love what they do.
Everybody supports everybody.
Yeah, I think people get that way. They get sort of jealous and all of that when they don't work on what they're doing and focus on their own career. And
how do you come up with bits? How do you come up with new stuff?
Talking to people. Just being out with people, living life, and being free, being uncensored, and finding where the line is.
Where's the line? Is it moving back to where it used to be, or is it still fucked up?
It feels like the line's a little squiggly right now. The line's a little squiggly.
In a good way or bad? But
in a transitional way.
It is transition,
yes.
Right? Like you at 80.
That's great memory. The caffeine's in.
Hey,
Wait, can I tell you my confession? Is there anything else that you want to wrap up from the current conversation? I like that you're focused today. And not that you weren't last time, but you're like wrapping stuff up. Feels good. Why did you look at her like you felt judged?
What am I doing? Let's go. Yes.
Because
I think
he's
so.
buttoned all the conversations. I usually leave it open like a shirt.
Well, I think we bounce around too much sometimes, and
don't overthink it.
Okay.
Were you just overthinking it?
No, I was thinking about
Where'd
Europe.
you go? About Europe?
Yeah. This is me thinking of
something else.
Pizza. I just wanted to say no because I'm talking about you.
Okay.
So you'll come up with a bit and then you'll try it out and you'll see how that goes. Right?
Yeah, I'll be out in life living and then say whatever my reaction or thought about whatever I'm experiencing, and if someone laughs, I'll have to be annoying and write it down.
What's the newest stuff you're doing?
The newest stuff, I talked about the fire, but I feel like that's fleeting news. I said that I'm used to fires in Venice because they always set fires in their tents, so they camp a lot. So there's a lot of camping fires.
Campfire.
And I said the rest of LA is worried about Mother Nature, but I'm worried about Methy Nature. Yeah.
Campfire. Let's riff on that one. Campfire songs.
Oh yeah, campfire songs. What do homeless? You know the other thing about homeless people?
Good singers.
Great singers.
Great golfers too.
Great golfers.
They don't golf a lot, but when they do,
they steal clubs. They probably have a set of clubs.
Yeah.
It's
like, why do you have a set of clubs of all things in that tent?
I know they have so many activities.
Yeah, activity stuff. A bike.
They have a full life.
Yeah,
but no house.
Well, there's a lot of homeless people. It's not going to be.
Yeah, it's a pandemic. It's so sad, but they look happy.
Well, they don't have to work.
They don't have to work. Right? A lot of the men have their dicks out.
No.
Oh my gosh! You know how many homeless dicks I've seen?
How many?
Can't count them.
Give me a number.
Ballpark?
Yeah, Balls Park.
Balls Park?
Yeah.
Today?
yeah. No, today, did you?
Yeah.
Swear to God.
I can't do that. I'll have somebody in the comments. I'll have somebody in the comments.
Yeah, you blasphemy.
You can't swear to God on a homeless dick.
No, you can't.
I feel Saget would have a comeback to that.
You can on a vagina, a homeless vagina.
Yeah, you can.
But that's home too.
Yes.
So, how many have you seen? 27.
That's a good number. A lot. And the thing is
why do they just flash you?
It's not even flash. It's just
out. With it out.
It's not even like they're trying to give it to anyone. It's just out. The pants aren't always up, and so the dick goes where it wants to go.
Why don't you pass out belts? The dick goes where it wants to go. The dick goes where it wants to go.
Goes, you know.
Ow! Okay, if you want to go there. Thomas, is he laughing? He's watching porn.
It's wild.
I just know it.
It seems like homeless is very erotic.
How? It's dirty.
I don't know. Their dicks are always out. It's very sexual.
Any boobs out?
Never. I take it back. I almost said never. I did see very large, well-endowed woman on a corner.
Well-endowed usually is saved for men.
It is, but you can say it when these boobs looked like giant dicks on her chest. They were ridiculous.
We've gone way out. So you're working on fire. You're doing fire stuff.
Some fire stuff because it's going on and crazy.
Diddy stuff? Do you have any Diddy stuff? Were you at any of those parties?
No, I never got invited. Were you ever at any of those? No.
Did you see Chappelle on SNL?
Yeah. The monologue was
beautiful. That's all I saw, by the way.
Yeah.
I thought only just because I didn't have time, but yeah, the monologue was. Although, did it get any flack for the Palestine gag at the end? I don't know. I didn't know.
I'm sure he did.
I didn't give a fuck.
But it's so poetic and fluid and flowy and melodic.
I loved his Diddy stuff. It was so fucking funny.
He was on another level with that monologue.
Yes. Yeah.
It felt like the country needed to hear everything he said in that moment.
This is like, never run out of baby oil. How does you have 100?
It's the wrong oil, by the way. Not good for.
But you know what I heard?
Sex.
I heard that there was GHB in the baby oil. So when you would give a massage, the GHB is a date rape drug, drug basically. And so that's how let me just give you a massage, and the GHB was in the fucking oil. And
I think my lady's doing that to me at the Thai place.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, I pass out.
Really?
I pass out, wake up, and I smell like pad thai.
How does this feel?
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, see?
Yeah.
Maybe, did you get one today?
No, but I want to get one. Do you ever get massaged? It must be hard for women to...
Massage me?
Yeah, I just can't imagine. If I were a masseuse, okay, and I worked at you and Caitlin and Billy are on vacation, and you're like, I'm gonna go get a massage, hon. Right. She's like, cool. You go in, and I'm the masseuse, and you walk in, I'm gonna need a minute.
Really?
I'm gonna need a minute. John's rubbing down John Stamos professionally.
I don't think like that, but I do. I've had a few funny massage stories. I used to have when I was doing cabaret, I had a masseuse, and she was on vacation and said, I'll have my friend, this guy, come massage you. Okay, great. And he's massaging, but I forgot, like, there's a swastika painted on the MC's ass in the show. And about at the end of Act 1, he sort of lifts his leather jacket and sticks his ass out there. Well, it's a lot to repaint every night, the swastika, so I sort of just leave it on. And this guy was Jewish. I know he was. And I flip over, and he's like, just stops, I'm like, what? What's the matter? Oh, that. Ignore that. Big red swastika on my ass.
It's a personal opinion.
Yeah. No.
It's just my view
we used
on
to
the
get
world.
massages. We used to get massages before. There's a famous actor who said, I'm not going to say who, but he said that I was the most relaxed actor on television. Because I used to get a massage before Dave and I would get massages before every episode of Full House.
Shut up.
Shooting night, yeah. One night.
This is like insider information.
I think he told me not to tell this story in my book, but I don't give a fuck. Our two, we had a husband and wife team, and he had the husband and I had the wife. And
of course.
And they were on vacation, so they sent 2 other people. They send this tall, maybe 6'2", big, well-endowed blonde to Dave. They said, go to Dave. I can't remember who massaged me.
I will take care of David.
Marika or something like that. I don't know how I remember. I know how I remember, but I can't say. So we do the massage. We do the
call
thing.
Dave.
Yeah.
Phone.
No.
Caller.
So we do the thing, and I'm done, and I took a shower, and just showtime. It's time to get ready to go, makeup, showtime. Dave's not there. He's not coming. And they go, "Where's Dave?" I don't know. He's still in his room. Send PA, knock on the door, nothing. They're like, John, where's Dave? Go get Dave. This girl, so he's in the middle of a massage. It's shit. Oh, showtime, we gotta go. And he tells the story, but he flips over and she says, "Can I touch it?" So I don't know how much touching, I don't know what went on, but we started the show late that night. And he was a little sleepier than normal. So
what episode was that? Do you remember what episode? Because I'm going to have to go back.
Yeah,
I'm going to go in the back catalog and see what the effects were on Joey that
weird.
day.
And he used to always get boners too, he would say.
Just in general?
Boners? I'm like, no, I'm getting a massage. I'm like, no.
I thought you meant while filming Full House. I'm
sometimes,
like,
yeah. Can you imagine?
Yeah, I can.
The donkey, there was a donkey on there, and that thing would get boners. And, one episode, and Bob called it Peppermill. And the twins were like laughing at it,
You had a donkey on the show?
We had every animal.
That's right.
It pissed me off after a while. It's like, can we just write some joke? We've had ferrets. We've had remember the monkey?
That's expensive. Monkey? The monkey?
There was a monkey on the show, and I'm in bed.
Yes.
With Jesse, and the monkey comes in and starts playing with me, and I was like, "Oh, Becky," and I'm facing it, and then the monkey starts spanking my ass. I'm like, "Oh, you want to get frisky tonight, huh?" And then I was like, monkey. And Billy, my son, loves that episode. But it was terrible because the monkey, the trainer was terrible. Now you can't do
that anymore.
Monkeys, yeah.
Chimp crazy.
Yeah.
Did you see that? We'll talk about that after.
Oh, with that lady?
Bless you.
They'll rip a face off, right? But this trainer was hitting the monkey with a script, like.
Oh my gosh!
I go, hey, blah blah blah. You knock that shit off, man. There's kids around here.
That's crazy.
Like, you want me to have the monkey rip your face off? I'm like, well, then I shouldn't be in bed with a monkey. If
Why
that's
is he my
an issue.
co-star?
Yeah.
Jesus.
But we had every monkey, and I did years ago. The band Offspring.
Yeah.
The name of the band.
Yep.
They a friend of mine was directing a video of theirs, and they asked me to be in it. It was like a strip club, and the song was called "We Don't Have Sex Anymore." And there was 2 monkeys that don't have sex anymore, and one of the monkeys drives to a strip club, and I'm in there, and him and I are doing, making it rain, and we're hanging out, we're drinking.
Sounds amazing. Is this available?
Yeah. But for some reason, they held it for like 7 or 8 years. It comes out a couple of years ago, and it's by then it's against the law to use chimpanzees and stuff. Oh, PETA ripped my ass apart, It's like, and I've done a lot of stuff for them. I'm not an animal abuser.
Right. And
we did it
the
before
context.
the thing. Yeah, exactly. So that came out, and PETA got mad at me, and I don't want to do anything for them anymore.
That's wild.
Those are my monkey stories. I think that's about it. Oh, no, Michael Jackson. Anyway, we have to go.
Wait.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean,
no, I'm good.
I'm good. We can go whenever you're ready. You tell me.
You know, it was like Stamos was so fast the first time. The second time, we couldn't get rid of him.
You were here. You and Thomas are here until like 9 p.m.
Yeah. Me and Thomas just talking about
Can I tell you? Can I confess now?
All right. So you were in a confessional booth.
Okay. So.
Turn the lights down, Thomas.
Turn the lights down low. Years ago, do you remember the Waldorf Astoria, Don Rickles roast? Friars.
Joan Rivers was there.
Yes, she was.
That's where I met her.
Really?
Yeah.
But wasn't Bob there?
Yeah, but what does that have to do with Joan Rivers?
Well, I'm just saying, like, that was also a person that you love was there. A bunch of people were there, right? It's Don Rickles.
Should I leave now?
No.
Okay, so I remember that, yes.
I snuck into that event.
Yeah.
I found out through the grapevine, this is years ago. I think this was like, what, early 2000s? Mid 2000s?
You know, I'll tell you, I know why. It was maybe around 2010 because I'll tell you why, but what happened?
You have a good memory.
I'm not good with date. I have a really good, I can't remember my lines, but I remember weird, things. I don't remember you stalking me there that night, but did you?
I got in with my friend Robin Shaw, and we would have been able to hang longer if we hadn't had gym bags with us. So we Oh,
you dressed up.
Well, you had to. It was a fancy event.
But you weren't. You were with gym bags.
It was New York. We were hustling around doing open mic shows. And
right.
A friend of mine in the industry was like, "Oh, your boy's up at Waldorf Astoria." I was like, "What?" And he's like, "All these other people are there." I didn't know Joan Rivers was there. Don Rickles roast. Hauled ass up there. Got an outfit. Changed there in the outfit. We had our gym bags. We're standing just watching the event. And Robin's like, "What's the plan here?"
How'd you get in?
No one was watching the doors. Anyone could have walked in.
That's safe.
So it's not
and
even
there were a lot of people. De Niro was there, and I remember
it was a huge event.
We were standing and getting ready to go on stage, and I was behind him, and that's why it was the 10th year anniversary of 9/11, I think, and so
yeah.
So I said, and we were in Iraq together. I think I said, "Bob, do you remember? It's 10 years today." And he grabbed me and kissed me, and I thought, that's it, I'm going to get whacked. I was like, oh, hugging me, and then they're calling him on stage. Bob, he's hugging me and kissing me. That's what I remember. Anyway, sorry. So you snuck in.
I snuck in. We stood there in our probably Forever 21 dresses.
Right. And your bags.
In our gym bags. And I just feel a tap on my shoulder. And I look over and there's this enormous man. And he goes, he didn't even say anything. He just looks at me. He looks at Rob and he goes, he just shook his head. He's like, "You got to get out."
Oh.
And so we got booted, but I ended up hanging out with a couple of my comedian friends. And do you know Chris Mazzilli? He's used to be a comedy manager, but he owns Gotham Comedy Club in New York.
Oh, cool.
And he was there. So
I don't know.
All was not lost. But I did sneak into the Don Rickles Friars Club roast in an attempt to, I don't know what, say hello.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do anything to you. Not unless it was wanted.
That was the big confession. I thought it was
a
going to be
big
something
confession.
better. I got a dildo with your face on it.
I was like, oh my God, I broke into this event. I do want to know.
I had a masseuse once quit because I go, "Why are you quitting?" She says, "I think I'm in love with you."
Stop.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Well, that you asked earlier about.
Are you joking?
100%. Yeah.
How long was she rubbing you that she fell in love?
She said, "I have feelings for you and I can't go on."
Well, she has
I said,
feelings.
"I'm there."
You're
literally.
feeling me.
Yeah.
That's called touch.
Yes, I'm naked, and I think I was single at the time too. I was like, "Oh, I'm here."
I would probably pull that move too. it would be in the middle of the first one.
No offense, that I've seen look like you. So that's a different story.
Really? Most women who come to rub you look like me?
They don't.
Oh, I was like, I'm in the wrong business. You can get out there rubbing people.
Have you thought about OnlyFans?
No. They reached out to me.
Really?
A bunch in
Who's they?
OnlyFans.
They go, "Hey, we want to start a channel." And
it was early on before it even popped off. It was in quarantine, and I didn't really understand quite what it was.
Yeah, right.
So
it's a weird name for what it is.
Yeah, it's misleading.
Yeah. Yeah, right.
It's like fans. Oh yeah, I've got fans.
Yeah, great.
That sounds.
Only? Yeah, good. Well, I only want
sounds pretty.
right.
sounds benign.
Yeah.
And I considered it until I realized what people were doing on it.
Yeah. Can you believe they're making like millions and millions of dollars?
I have a girlfriend, a girl I know, who was on there making like $100,000 a month.
That's low for some of them.
It is low for some
of them. But that's
a
a lot
She's
of money.
just a regular chick.
Yeah. Was it
$100,000 a month?
I think I want to start one and just here's a comedy area. Just did my feet. So let's just
only feet for sure.
Only feet.
Only feet. Are you on Wikipedia?
No, is that a thing?
Oh, it's one thing you haven't done. It's one thing you're not on or in. It's a site of famous people with feet, nice feet.
I don't have nice feet. You know who has the nicest feet that I've ever seen? I went over to his house and it like...
It's a guy?
It was, yeah. And his beautiful feet. And he had a whole, it was a whole like album from a vacation. I said, oh, it's vacation. His wife was in it. And I said, what? It was all pictures of his feet. And it was Howard Stern.
Oh my God, he's so weird.
His beautiful feet.
Stop.
Yeah.
I could see him bragging about that. I could see him being very proud of his feet. You've been friends with him for years, haven't you?
Yeah.
Weren't you in, what was his?
Private Parts? Yes.
I have a little bit of a memory.
Well, you read the book.
Did you talk about Private Parts in there? Over and over. I read it once and I dog-eared it. Oh, wait.
I think I did. No, I don't know if I did. There was a funny story because at the time, he was reenacting that MTV bit Fart Man.
Oh my
God,
that's right.
And he came down from the thing.
Yes, I remember that.
And Luke Perry was the guy who was giving the award out, and he said, I want to work with Howard Stern. I'm a movie star, And so Howard was like, okay. Called me up and said, hey, Stamos, we just... I'm like, yeah. Flew out there. It was funny.
You have the best mindset about all of this. I know you attribute a lot of that to your parents.
What? Like what?
About the industry, about work and your approach to life. Like, what keeps you so humble?
Well, insecurity maybe, or does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
But I don't know how humble, but I just like people.
Every person that I know who knows you, and we have a lot of mutual friends.
Who?
Well, I mean,
Sam Morril.
No, not Sam Morril.
Like me.
I'll name names after.
Whatever. But
everyone who knows you says the same thing about you.
But I'm nice, but humble.
Not nice. Nice is a. They said Ted, who's the guy?
Unabomber?
No, the other guy, the guy with the glasses, good-looking one. John Stamos, Bundy. Thank you so much. They said he was a nice guy.
He had these glasses. Too.
There was also
these are his glasses. I don't know that. I don't know how to answer that question.
Nice is like so limited.
Because I just don't. Because I just like people. I don't know.
You're just one of. You're very genuine. And
but why not be?
There's a lot of people who aren't. There's a lot of crappy people in the industry.
They don't last.
They do not last. You're right.
Nobody has time for bullshit anymore. Nobody has time for, I'm going to lock myself in my trailer. Well, drive it off because there's 20 other people that can do your gig just as well. This set last night, I'm telling you, everybody's on time, obviously. Everybody shows up. They know all their lines. There's no, they have fun. They're, super kind, good crew, great people, but they're pros. And that's it. My dad would say that. He said, be a pro.
Yeah.
I remember Saget coming and saying, John, we're icons. I go, I don't give a fuck about being an icon. I would rather someone call me a pro than an icon.
He said, we're icons? I don't know why that made me laugh.
Yeah, that's Bob.
Oh, I like that.
He was an icon, but, it's like whatever that's about. But
he really was. I wish I could have had an opportunity to get to know him more, and because we're, essentially, obviously so much more successful and further.
He's dead.
He's dead, but
You're
I
more
mean,
successful.
Not now. He's not successful now. I just wish I had an opportunity to get to know him more. Yeah, because he just was so.
He was an egomaniac, but I think it was because it was out of insecurity. Of
course, there's a balance,
and I think sadly, he didn't realize how loved he was until he died. I mean, we all said like, I wish he knew how much people loved him because the whole nation was shocked and so sad, But I think he thought of himself higher than he thought he was Chappelle.
Right.
And Chappelle loved him. The big people, everybody loved him. And so I remember telling him, I said, that's too high, man. It's like, go, like put your sights here. Mm-hmm. And then if you get close, that. But here, you're so far away, you're going to be, depressed about it.
It's like setting yourself up for failure.
Right. I I just think I'm gonna, I'm just grateful that I get to keep working and these jobs come up, and I do almost anything because you never know what's gonna be successful or not. I remember doing some episodes of that show, for Lifetime.
Great in that.
But I didn't even know Berlanti. I had a meeting with him, and he said, "Will you do me a favor? You do a couple of these episodes." I said, "Yeah, sure." Did it Lifetime. It bombed, and then they put it over on Netflix, and it became a huge success. So you never know. But I have I'm right in the zone right now where I keep waiting for my Breaking Bad. Like, where is that? And I don't know if I got 2 things coming up that could be it, but I'm close to that. I just want to be super respected on television, doing my work, and I'm getting close to that. But it's taken me a long time. It's taken me longer than it should have. But by the grace of God, I'm still in the business.
I have to disagree with it taking longer than it should have from my standpoint, because the timing is universal, and you're right where you need to be. You're a dad, you're a husband, you've experienced loss, you've experienced all these things that have humbled you, and you keep going. And like you said, you take all the work. You have such a good sense of self. And I do feel like I was wondering that's exactly what I wanted to ask you. Like, what is next? You've done so much. You've done such a... No, you have. If you look at what the type of work you've done and the type of...
But people don't know it. It's like...
Just wrapping up soon.
We'll wrap up when I'm ready. Thomas.
The type of work that you've done has been so eclectic. And so
but I don't pick it,
no, I know it comes to you.
For an actor, for somebody to go like, I planned this and I did this. I know. Fuck off. It comes and you take it. But some of it's been eclectic. A lot of people haven't seen. I worked my ass off on ER, and some of these shows, and I've done 5 Broadway. People still Uncle Jesse, which is fine. I get it. But I'm close. I have a show at Netflix that I think is going to do that for me, and I have just great people that are willing to put me in those things. I have a movie that I'm going to do in a couple weeks, and it's a dark fucking horror film.
Ooh, yeah, we need you in some dark stuff.
It's dark, and it's produced by Danny DeVito, and
what?
It's a horror film.
Oh, yes.
And I've been wanting a role like this because I always say, I'm not going to be able to do too much, but I can get people trust me. Right now, right? They'll go like, "Oh, I'm gonna go on this ride. Yeah, it's Uncle Jesse. How bad? Oh no, he's got an axe." Like I'm not. Some of these actors that play those kind of roles, what's coming up. With me, it's like I can fool them for a few minutes. So that's the thing I'm doing.
That's exciting. Something very different.
But it all just But I am 61. So I do have to.
I don't believe that.
I got to get on it.
Who's the blood? You drink the blood of who?
You. She just spit out her thing. Would you have someone else coming in here at 6:00, Thomas? Who? Another? Who? Neil Brennan? Who? I need a name.
DJ. Oh, okay.
DJ. Cameron? No.
Okay, well, I can wrap it up.
The person can wait. I've waited so many years for this moment. Folks at home, I came in late last time and I had to leave early, so. And I'm not just wasting time to avoid traffic. I'm here because I love Thomas.
Thomas, we're going to be here till 9 p.m. so we don't have to sit in traffic. Everyone needs to get your book. I'll put all the notes, the description, and the show notes and everything. If you would have told me,
I'm proud of you, and I followed you, and you've always said nice things about me, and
have flirted aggressively, but I'm
flirted just this morning,
just hours ago.
Yeah. And that's fine. And I'm just happy to be. I'm glad that we had an hour. Thomas would have liked it shorter, but I'm glad that we had some time just to sit and talk.
Me too.
This is for the most part, we would have, if we were at a party or we were just sitting around, we talked some of this stuff, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's how I want it to feel like that. I want it to feel
does. Yeah. Okay.
As
natural. Sit on my couch and talk.
But I do have this prepared thing I do want to say. Your mother you said something about your mother in the book that hit me in my core. You said, Loretta, that she loved me so much I didn't have to learn how to love myself. Mm. And I thought that sounded like a blessing and a curse.
Yeah, right. I had to learn to love myself as an adult, I guess. What does it mean to you?
It means that, to me, it means that there's some association with loss in that you had to.
Right. I didn't have that safety net. Right. Of her. And, I could do anything in her eyes.
And then you have to learn how to love yourself without that support, without that voice, without that essence.
Because it can be a trap too, right? Or like a safety. Well, I don't give a fuck if you love me. I got her. She loves me unconditionally.
Exactly.
Wait, she's gone.
And then there was a thing, Stutz. You talked about Stutz in your book. And he said something that I think sort of connects to that, also connects to the podcast.
Do people know who Stutz is on your podcast?
People who don't know who Stutz is, he's a
Phil Stutz,
well-known psychiatrist.
Yeah.
And renowned.
I made Bob go to him. I said, "We can't be friends anymore. You got to go to." And he went till the day he died, and he still owes Stutz money. He told me.
We'll Venmo you, Stutz.
Yeah, Stutz, relax. You got enough money.
It's coming. But he
said
something. There's a
document, there's a special. Sorry. On Netflix that Jonah Hill
did. Yeah, called Stutz, isn't it?
Something like that.
Yeah, it's interesting. He said something that kind of goes into what she said to you and kind of the theme of the podcast. But he said you must practice non-attachment and be willing to lose. Mm-hmm. And for me, I guess I want to know, how do you, in your daily life, deal with your loss? And what's something you can say to the listeners to maybe help them feel a little bit more able to deal with their own loss? Like, what's maybe something your parents have taught you, or something that you have learned yourself in this life?
Well, I think part of that, I think there's part of you that feels afraid to love again, or love so deeply because you know it's going to go, right? So that's sort of what I think that means. I think I love the theme of Coco, where you got to talk about them. You have to tell stories about the ones you lost, right?
Yeah.
So that helps. But a piece of you is gone. Like, let's not, I can sugarcoat it and say a bunch of bullshit quotes that you can see on. People got to stop doing quotes on Instagram too. Okay, but enough. Okay, put the quotes. Fuck off.
Can I quote you on that?
Yes. Quote me.
I snorted.
But it's, a piece of you is gone. You know it.
Yes.
And it's not coming back. And you get used to it. A piece of you is gone. And it's like you're getting poked with a stick. And, after, it's just like this, and it hurts in the beginning, and you kind of forget about it for a minute, and then you go back to it, and then you kind of forget about it, and that's it. Talk about them, tell stories about them, put pictures up. I have a friend where I have all the pictures of my parents, my friend who just died, and Bob. Bob has his own shelf. He loved Jiminy Cricket, so I have Jiminy Cricket there. But it's, don't try to get over it. We're not going to get over it. Did you ever get over losing your parents?
I don't want to get over it.
You don't want to get over it. So I think that's part of it. There's a girl on Instagram who puts quotes. No, she's this incredible poet, and she has a book coming out, and I wrote a thing for it, but it's, let's see, this is gonna fuck things up. Oh, no. This is a poem that she wrote. I'm gonna read this, and you can cut it out or not, and I'll say her name after when I look it up. This really helped me too. She says, "I'm going to miss you forever. Did you know that? I will spend the rest of my life missing." I'm going to read it again. "I'm going to miss you forever. Did you know that? I will spend the rest of my life missing you, in big ways, in small ways, in medium ways, and all ways. I'm going to miss you. There aren't many things that last forever, but missing people never ends. Even people you shouldn't miss, or don't want to miss, or don't deserve to be missed. That feeling will creep in like a robber on his tiptoes. He's in there. And there's nothing you can do about it. And it's a beautiful thing, because I'll know that I never forget to keep missing you, even when the spaces between remembering you and forgetting get longer. But it's awful, because you only have to miss someone when they're gone. Sometimes I'll miss you and I'll know that's what I'm doing. And sometimes it'll just be an emptiness or an ache that creeps in and takes me a minute to ponder what hurts and where it's coming from. My body then clues into the difference between pain of a cut on my hand and the grief of you being gone, and then I'll remember, and I'll miss you then too. For all my days, not every day, but in little pieces until the end of time, I'm going to miss you forever. And I find so much peace and so much pain in that all at once.
Oh my God.
So
that about sums it up.
I think that about sums it up. And this is written by this wonderful girl. I've never met her. I DM'd her once. Her name is Josie Balka, Balkajosie, and she has a book coming out. And she asked me to write a little thing, and I did. But I listen and to her, and I read that all the time because that's it.
It really encompasses the entire emotion. Yeah, well, this has been...
We're friends now.
This has been amazing. Amazing doesn't even describe. I'm so grateful for you. I'm so grateful for you being open and sharing stories and being funny and generous and real and genuine.
Fuck off.
Fuck you.
See, that's bad.
You're full of shit.
Yes. That's a tip. Take the compliment.
Take the compliment. I tried to compliment you last time.
Thank you.
And you want to take it.
I'm taking
I love you.
You.
You're
love
one
you
of the
too.
greatest people. Bob's a dick for leaving you.
Yeah.
Such a dick. What a dick move. Rude.
How rude.
Well, I can't wait to be invited to your Christmas party this year.
Yeah.
Beach Boy show.
Yes, May.
Holding you to that.
4th, I think it is.
Is there anything else you want to promote before we get out of here? Your book, If You Would Have Told Me, out on paperback,
yes.
hardcover,
Palm
audio.
Royale is in the spring, I think.
Palm Royale, which is catch up on it now so you get the whole vibe of the show. It's very unique.
And I'm going to show up at one of your shows with a gym bag and hope to get kicked out.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Thomas.
Thank you, Thomas. Bye, everybody.
Goodbye, everybody.